Hello and welcome, Lindsay. Guests, we are back. It is the 2026 season of Link Ahead. Can you believe it, Lindsay?
I can believe it. I've been here for all of it, Bruce.
Well, we are kicking off with our first ever four-peat guest. It's our friend, theater supervisor, award-winning theater, Joe Bishara. Joe, welcome to Link Ahead.
Well, thank you, Bruce and Lindsay. I did not know that the Four Timers Club was something that was uncharted waters.
Yes.
I'm super excited about it. Thank you for having me back.
Absolutely. We're already looking ahead to next year for the Five Timers. So clear your schedule for that. And to make this kickoff episode even bigger and better, we are also joined by Josh Mustard, president of the Dublin Coffman Theater Boosters and a proud Abbey parent. Josh, welcome to Link Ahead.
Thanks. Great to be here. It's quite the honor. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so we are so excited to learn about the 2026 season. But before we get to the lineup, Josh, can you tell us about how you and your family first got connected to the Abbey and just what Dublin's theater community is like?
Yeah, so we actually got, my daughter was in a middle school musical, 7th grade. Didn't have 6th grade COVID. It was a mess. But okay. And so she goes in the 7th grade musical, and she comes home on the last night, and she cries for 24 hours straight. And we're like, oh, my goodness, what are we going to do? Uh-oh. And she has to get back into something. And we didn't know this was a thing, right? So, you know, we looked around. We got her in a couple of things. Then we landed in the Abbey Theater's summer program. And from there, we haven't looked back. It's been a remarkable experience. Just amazing programming, amazing mentorship for her. It's been just a really great community.
Awesome.
Amazing is the word.
Yeah.
And before we look ahead to what's to come, we really have to pause and talk about everything that you accomplished this past season. So the Abbey was nominated by Broadway Columbus in 16 categories, everything from Best Play to Best Solo Performance. You are personally nominated as Best Director, Joe, and the Abbey is once again nominated for Best Local Theater after winning the last 3 years in a row. So we won't know which awards we won until later this month, but that's an incredible amount of momentum heading into 2026.
Yeah. When we met to talk about the 2025 season, I think my energy was probably palpable because of how excited I was about what we were going to be able to provide the community. And it was by far, I think, our most successful year artistically. It was our most successful year from a box office perspective and from critical acclaim from reviewers. We were recently named the number 3 of the top 10 theater companies in all of Central Ohio by Columbus Underground, which is a step up. You know, we continue to move up on that list with Columbus Underground. But yes, a four-peat for favorite local theater for Broadway World Columbus would be amazing. It's looking good.
Good.
It's looking good. All right.
All right. We're feeling good then.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say, like, you come off 25, you're riding the high, and then all of a sudden, well, what's next?
Yeah.
That's always the question, what's next? So speaking of that, well, before we get in, the 26th season, you kick off stuff in January.
Yes.
So it's right here. I mean, there's no break.
Right.
All right. So let's talk about January. You have William Shakespeare's A Comedy of Errors. Now, this was first performed in 1594.
Correct.
So we're talking about like handwritten versions of this. So what is it about the humor that still holds, how does it still resonate to modern audiences?
That's a great question, Bruce. I think that what you're going to find is so much of what we digest on a daily basis on social media, going to the movie theater or watching anything streaming, at its core is what Shakespeare created formulaically. And so last year we had the good fortune of collaborating with Dublin Coffman on a production of William Shakespeare's Macbeth, more tragic, right? And action-based and suspense-based. So what we wanted to do is, one of the responsibilities that we hold near and dear to this community is that we want to continue to provide them multiple opportunities. And so we said, okay, we did the dramatic thing. Let's do something that's more slapstick-based, more comedy-based. And that's where Shakespeare, when done well, even though people might struggle with reading it, when it's performed immediately and authentically, it's like a hot knife through butter. And so to give these kids a chance to do something that gives them, it's still physically based, like stage combat and comedy aren't that different, but you have to rehearse them and you have to really hone them and refine them, and to give these kids this opportunity to sink their teeth into Shakespeare for a second consecutive year. I believe it's something that helps the community at large. It also helps our instructors come up with taking on the challenge of daily clarity. So it's a win-win. Okay. But Josh could tell me different.
It's been very cool, right? the collaboration has been really something else.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So Joe's mentioning these kids, and I understand there are Coffman students performing in this show. And so can you talk a little bit about that collaboration and their opportunity to work side by side with the Abbey creative and tech teams?
Yeah, so, I mean, we're so lucky to have something like the Abbey here in Dublin. It's such a fantastic resource for the community at large, right? But especially for the kids. Joe and I were talking a couple years ago. It's like, okay, how do we do something where, I mean, we do a lot with the kids. We put on more shows than a lot of, at Dublin Coffman, than a lot of schools that actually have performing arts schools do. I found that out this summer. But it's kind of recreational, right? It's fun, it's good, and like, but how do we get people experience with like real professional theater, you know, people doing the sound, the stage, the direction, and Joe was kind enough to kind of come and he and our director at Coffman came together, and so they get a completely different experience. It's a professional experience. They get to be involved. It's a little intense to be candid, right? It's a completely different experience from what they get at the Coffman, just kind of the drama club.
Right. Okay, well, sticking with that 16th century theme, February, we have Six Wives of Henry VIII coming to the mic in Six, the musical. So I have one question and one question only. When are these tickets on sale?
Well, Lindsay, tickets are available as we speak.
Oh,
Boom.
wow.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
So I look forward to having you in the audience.
I was going to say, hold on, I'm going to have to.
Hey, there we go. She's going to
Getting
purchase.
the tickets.
Wow, this is amazing. It's
a first.
I like
It's
that.
a first.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here realizing I haven't bought mine yet.
Yeah,
That's not good.
That's all right.
Oh.
You know a guy. So this is exciting for us. Our pre-professional process meets performance initiative for years has only happened in the summer.
Yeah.
But we've had such a tremendous amount of demand and interest for that program that we said maybe we can try to do something, what I call a chamber musical, earlier in the year. And so we decided to do that. And when the dust settled, we were chosen as one of the first non-schools to do the teen edition of Six. So it's really exciting. Auditions open for that. And we had that in the fall. When auditions were posted, almost every single spot went away immediately. When the dust settled, we have 12 youth artists between the ages of 13 and 19 participating in the production. So 6 principals and then 6 understudies. But the way we run our understudy program, they have the opportunity to be on stage. So they will have a minimum of 1 performance, hopefully 2, depending on how the readiness that they show. Which again, I think speaks to the quality of our pre-professional program. This isn't something that we're doing to just say, hey, look, we want to try to get as many kids as possible on the stage.
Right.
If this is something students actually want to actively pursue as a profession, they need to understand what it's like to observe a rehearsal without maybe not always getting all the physical reps in, and then be prepared. I spent 6 months of my life being an understudy for a production.
Wow.
And going every day and being there up until like halfway through the second act and going, okay, is someone going to fall over? No? Okay, great. I get to go home now.
That's not like Lindsay's jury experience.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I didn't.
This
mean
sounds
that.
like something we need to talk about.
No. We need to talk more about this show.
I've been a jury understudy, I guess, twice now, so
okay.
it's fine. I'm over it. Bruce isn't, though.
No. She comes in every day with her head hung low. All right. So let's talk about March. It brings us Olympus, the Greek god rock musical. Tell us about this.
This is a regional premiere. So this is a
Wow.
piece that's never been produced in Central Ohio. We have worked with Beat by Beat Press on numerous productions over the course of my time here because they write shows specifically catered for kids ages 9 to 16.
Outstanding.
And that's our bailiwick. We have our Bound for Broadway program, which for people who aren't familiar with that, students work with our artists for 10 consecutive Saturdays from 9 to noon. And then the week of the production, then they have 3 days of tech, and then they have a weekend of performances. So it's a great way to like ease yourself into our programming. And also then parents, you get to have some time to yourself from 9 to noon on Saturdays.
Sounds
It's a
pretty good.
win-win, right?
Josh is shaking his head.
Well, mine didn't outgrow it either because now she helps stage manage for it. So she's been involved in all of it.
Awesome.
That's a really great point. You kind of grow in the program and can experience a little bit of everything.
You can, it's and you get out of it what you put into it. And Josh's daughter Ainsley is a tremendous example of that. Started off as a performer and then has now become part of the fabric of what we do in our Saturday morning program as a stage manager. She's going to be taking on some additional duties for Olympus, actually, and she's one of the 12 participants in 6.
Oh, wow.
That
We
is
need to have
awesome.
her on the podcast.
Yeah, we do.
Bruce.
We
I
do.
mean,
No
where is
offense
she?
to you, Josh, but
Be careful what you ask for. You know what I mean?
She'll be doing my job here before too long. So not just one show in March, but 2.
Correct.
So you are also undertaking a SpongeBob the musical.
Yeah, we're going deep into the education side of things this year, but this is an interesting spin. So for a number of years, the Dublin Coffman teachers would produce their own show, and the proceeds that they raised would go towards a scholarship program for the teachers to then do like ongoing education.
Okay.
So it kind of went away during COVID, and so one of the teachers met up with me last year and said, "I'd really like to do this again. Would it be possible to partner with the Abbey?" And, I'm just a theater producer who can't say no. So this is really exciting. This is something new. Us partnering with the teachers to help them put on a production. So, and then there will be an opportunity for the people that attend that production to then donate towards the Teacher Scholarship Fund. So it's a really, really exciting opportunity for us, again, to offer the community something new, but also partnering with the teachers within the community to help them continue their ongoing education needs.
Can you talk about maybe the challenges of trying to bring a cartoon style show
not just
to the
a
stage?
cartoon. This is
Right.
a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, trying to stir the echoes of what has happened with that cartoon, it will be a challenge, but we're excited to take that on, and it's also it's something that the community already knows, and then they're also then supporting the teachers within their community. Again, it's just a win-win, and we're so excited to help them move this initiative forward.
Outstanding. All right. In April, the Abbey presents The Pub's Got No Beer. Is this another Greek tragedy, or is this something else entirely?
Sounds like a tragedy.
It's an Irish tragedy.
It is an Irish tragedy. So I don't know if you are familiar with what was happening in June 1963. Well, let me tell you what was happening.
Wasn't around.
JFK, I wasn't either.
I wasn't either, Lindsay. Surprisingly.
Oh, was that a dig at you, Bruce?
It is.
So JFK was visiting Ireland. And why does that matter? Well, it matters because it also coincides with something that was a struggle for independently owned bars in Ireland at that point in time. So when you were starting off, you could only work with one type of brand of beer. So this takes place in O'Looney's Pub, which might sound very similar to Cooney's Pub because our favorite Irish playwright, Sean Cooney, wrote this piece. And Sean's claim to fame is that Sean was born and raised above an Irish pub that his family owned.
That's funny.
Wow.
So Sean usually writes things that are like 70% based in truth and 30% based in wackiness. So JFK comes to visit, which means that there's a lot of visitors in Ireland that are not from Ireland. And then you get to meet the O'Looney family and their struggles with running their independently owned Irish pub because they can only sell Beamish beer, not Guinness. And so it kind of goes from there. So you get to learn a little bit about how excited they are to have the sitting American president in town, their struggles with selling a beer that nobody wants to drink, and then someone offering to sell the beer that everybody wants to drink, and then someone telling them, you can't do that, I'm going to shut down your pub. So it's based in truth. There's a lot of slapstick comedy.
Okay, good.
All right. But it's definitely a good time. And I'm like, and we also get to recreate the pub that we created when we did Moby Dick.
Oh,
Missing.
yeah.
All
That
right.
set was outstanding.
Yeah. And it'll be outstanding again.
Oh, very cool. I was going to say, how are you going to follow that? But I know the answer. So late May into early June brings 1776, America's prize-winning musical. And this production is part of Dublin's broader celebration of our nation's semi-quincentennial, America 250. So Joe, tell us about the show and why this feels especially timely.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I was asked if we had anything in store for the US 250 celebration. And I kind of just said as a joke, I'm like, well, we could always do 1776. And in my flippant way that I say things. And someone said, that's a great idea. When are you going to announce that? I'm like, oh,
I just did.
I'm like, I guess we're doing that. So, okay, so we're doing this. So it's a musical I've always wanted to produce. And what better time to do it than to celebrate for US 250. It's a iconic musical. It'll be outdoors at Coffman Amphitheater,
very cool.
which
Wow.
is something that we have not done in a couple of years as far as adult productions are concerned. But yeah, really excited to offer that, and people can audition for that. We're holding auditions for it.
He's looking right at you, Lindsay, when he said that.
I'm ready.
I'm looking at both of you. Your dulcet tones are just perfect for the stage.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice. He is buttering us up for the 5th time. All right. July features 35 millimeter, a musical exhibition.
Yeah. This is cool. This is something, again, a chamber musical, but it really is a collision of artistic disciplines. So all of the vignettes that are a part of this chamber musical are based upon photography, professional photography. And so the creative team that created this said, what if we blended our love for photography with also our love for musical theater? And from there, a musical was born. It's a Dublin premiere. It's never been produced here before. It's another opportunity for our pre-professionals to collaborate with professionals. So the auditions for 35 millimeter and 1776 are taking place in early January. So you can go to one audition for both shows. So again, it's our ongoing desire to continue to elevate the artists within our community. And that also means then sometimes working with some professionals. If they think this is what they want to do, well, here's your chance to see if you line up with what we need for that show. And then you get a chance to get some subconscious mentoring from some professional artists.
Wow. All right. Still in July, we have It's Newsies Junior.
Correct. Yeah. So, based off of the movie that came out when we were kids, a Broadway musical was forged. And this is the 70-minute version of that. Very, very popular musical. And we're just excited to do that. It's something different. Again, we want to make sure that we're providing the artists that participate in our programs things that can diversify their skill set. Newsies Junior is a more dance-based musical. Alice in Wonderland was more a acting and singing-focused musical that we did last summer. So excited to provide that for the community. It's a really great show. It's very uplifting. It's got a lot of historic ties to it as well. It is based off of things that actually happened with a newspaper strike going on.
Do
in
people
New
know
York.
what newspapers are now? That's the question.
That's a whole other podcast, isn't it?
Extra. Yeah, and people know that show too. So
Sure.
a lot of good things
Yeah.
there. And then in August, The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical. And I have to say, I heard over the holidays that my niece is going to audition for this
Whoa,
show.
okay. whoa,
So
whoa.
if you
Okay.
have any tips, let me know.
Well, tell her you know a guy.
I know a
right.
guy. But this one sounds like a lot of fun. Tell us about that show.
So this is a piece that I have been very interested in ever since it originally came out on Broadway. The rights have been available not for a very short amount of time for non-schools. Again, we kind of have to ride that wave. Sometimes when they're offering things for youth artists, it's more school focused, which I think is wonderful. So excited to go on this adventure with Percy Jackson. A very hot commodity right now. I think a new season of it just
Yeah,
came
it
out
just
on
came
Disney
out on-
Plus.
yeah.
And I think that's also neat. What I love about it is it's another page to stage adaptation. So this could light the spark for someone, and then they read the books.
Absolutely. That was a spark for my son. He was not into reading. All of a sudden, he read a Percy Jackson book, and it was
Oh,
then we
wow.
owned all of them.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's outstanding. Late September into early October brings The Velocity of Autumn.
So a play that had a short run on Broadway, but just tugs at the heartstrings of anyone who has someone older in their life who is struggling as they continue to evolve in life. So this play starts with what looks like someone trying to break into someone's house. But what it really is the black sheep of the family, the son that isn't really connected to the rest of the family, trying to get into the house to get their mom to understand that they might need to change their lifestyle because of things that are going on as she continues to evolve.
Gotcha.
And so it kind of goes from there. It's a study on family dynamics. It's a study on aging dynamics. But at its core, there's a love of family. And it's a really interesting piece that I'm excited to share with Dublin audiences. It is a regional premiere.
Wow, and very relatable, I have to say. So wrapping up the season, a classic from Disney and Pixar, Finding Nemo Jr.
This show is so stinking cute. It originally started as a 30-minute adaptation that they would perform in the Disney parks. And people loved it so much that they then said, well, we've got to license this and make it so it's something that can be producible. And so this is interesting. This is something with us trying something new. We've had such a demand for our Bound for Broadway program and our pre-professional program that last summer we dipped our toe into offering something for performers ages 6 to 9. And both of those camps sold out. We'll be doing that again this summer. That's a tease. We'll talk about that at some other point. But this is where the first time we're going to try to offer something for performers ages 6 to 9 on Saturdays. So same set, same choreography, but two different versions of the show, a 70-minute version and a 30-minute version.
Oh, wow.
30-minute version
That
will
is
feature
cool.
kids 6 to 9, and then the 70-minute version will feature actors ages 9 to 16. And if that takes off, you'll see more of that.
Yeah.
But again, it's just us slowly but surely continuing to grow what we're providing the community from a theater education perspective.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you don't do anything the easy way.
Nothing good comes easy, Lindsay.
All right, so looking at this season in its totality, is there a through line connecting these productions?
I think the biggest thing is really if I try to make sure that everything we're doing, let me back up. The purpose of art is to make someone think and feel. And so to me, there's always an educational component. So when you say that to me, that's my knee jerk. You can learn something from sitting in our audience and bearing witness to any of these productions. So at the core of what we do is education based. But again, it's me going, where does this check the box? And I feel like 1776 and The Pub's Got No Beer and The Velocity of Autumn is something that audiences that came to see The Witch of November and You're My Boy and Christmas Carol will relate to. So it's really more, it's not trying to do an exact copy paste, but it's making sure that we're still honoring the audiences that keep on coming back and going, if you like this, it's almost like if you recommend it, if you like, have you seen those things before in marketing materials? And that's kind of the direction that goes on in my mind. But again, we're digging in deep on the education side of things, period. This community has expressed such an admiration for what we've been doing. So why not try to give them more and meet them where they're at? So again, trying to have more things for the younger age range, trying to diversify our pre-professional programs. And that's an ongoing thing. I'm hoping that the next time I talk to you, I'm talking about another expansion of the pre-professional program. But it's crawl before you walk, before you run. We're walking pretty well right now.
I would have to say
A brisk pace.
it feels like a sprint. I mean, this is a really, really, really strong season. I'm looking forward to so much of what you were talking about. Let's bring Josh back into the conversation. And as the Dublin Coffman Theater Boosters president, can you tell us what that role looks like and how the boosters support students and the productions?
Well, I try to make it pretty simple. The number one thing we do is we raise money. Right? If we raise money, then that gives us the opportunity to go do things. We advocate for the kids a little bit, but really we raise money and we volunteer. Right? That's our main goal. That's what we're out there to do.
Right. And Bruce, you know about being a booster
I do know
fundraiser, right?
about
How many
being
concession stands have you run in your
I'd
day?
love to know how many hot dogs I have sold in my lifetime in Clintonville. But
So he's available. His kids have now
no, I retired.
graduated.
Lindsay, I'm not available. He's doing a great job. He doesn't need my support, obviously.
We need everybody's support. Don't kid yourself.
Doggone it. I'm broke back in. Do you make hot dogs?
We don't make hot dogs.
Popcorn? Anything? All right, then I'm no
You're
use to you
overqualified
whatsoever.
for
no
this.
use.
Go find us some sponsors. That's what we like.
There you
See,
go.
I'm not good knocking on doors. All right, so Josh, your daughter's been like this mainstay in the theater program. So what has it meant for you, your family, to sit there and watch and see her growth on stage?
Yeah, it's hard to describe, right? I mean, this isn't something my wife and I aren't particularly musical or particularly theater oriented, although I love to watch. And so for this to have become such a big part of her life and to have this type of community around her, and the people are great, right? I mean, the kids are great, the adults are great. I'm thankful for Dan Stoll. He's the director of Coffman. He's just so inclusive with everybody. He brings the best out of the kids and gets them involved. And everybody at the Abbey and Joe and his team, I mean, they've just been phenomenal, right? And to watch my daughter grow in this process and be afforded that opportunity, because there's, that's it's a little frustrating living here in Central Ohio. There are a lot of opportunities to participate, but there's not a single place to go where you can just go do this. But increasingly, the Abbey is becoming that place, right? In addition to the high school, it's a place where you can grow and develop professionally, not just recreationally, right? And so that's been really rewarding for me.
I mean, and on a serious note about the boosters, like I joke about it, but I did it for my kids. You're doing it for your kid, but you're also doing it for the benefit of other kids whose maybe parents can't get involved in stuff, but you want to make sure everyone has that opportunity.
100%, right? I mean, first off, I mean, if you haven't seen the YouTube video of Josh Groban at the Jimmy's in New York a couple years ago, what he says about theater kids, he's like, if there's a job that you should hire a theater kid. I won't steal his whole shtick, but what he says is unbelievably true. Sports kids get a lot of benefit, right? Colleges like sports kids. People like to hire sports kids right out of college. Theater kids have everything sports kids have. They have the commitment. They have the training. They have the ability to improvise. They know teamwork, right? It's an incredible the more and more I'm involved with it, the more I appreciate it, right? And what it does for the kids, the community, public speaking, right? I mean, just being able to sit in an interview. Right?
Absolutely.
So it's incredible. And so we want to afford these opportunities to the kids, both, again, some of it's just for fun. It's just getting kids out there that would never, ever have gotten on stage that just weren't comfortable public speaking. For kids like my daughter who want to go on and do this professionally, there's an outlet for that as well, right? And we're just so lucky to have this in the community.
Let's stick with this theme a little bit longer, and maybe for both of you, just talk about the importance of finding your tribe, whether it's theater, whether it's athletics, or what. Just to talk about how important that is as you're growing up.
Well, you know, I was a sports kid. I played sports. I also did band. I was on stage once as a ballerina as a joke, which is hilarious. But
is there a video of this?
Yeah, I need to see this.
Yes, but it's VHS, and you'll never.
You can convert that into.
You're talking to the wrong guy, because I might have a couple of VCRs lined up.
Yeah, it was our senior jocks in ballet, so my one and only time on stage in that way. No, I think it's amazing. Just finding your people, finding a place where you can be yourself, and what I've been so impressed with especially with the theater kids, right? What a welcoming, opening group of people, right? Mm-hmm. There isn't a particular band. There's a little bit of everything there, but they're just very welcoming and opening, and I think that's important. But whether it's sports, whether it's theater, whether it's academics, whatever, I think it's important that you have a place you can go and be yourself and be with your people, and that's the tribe that I think we've got here in the theater community here in Dublin.
Yeah, I think that's 100% accurate. I mean, I think about how I gravitated towards it, and it was very similar to that. You know, I grew up in a very German town. I am not German. But the place that I found that was incredibly inclusive and welcoming was in the arts programs in my high school. And once I knew I could just be myself and feel free to be myself, it kind of all went downhill instead of feeling like an uphill climb. And it's important, that's something that I hope that we have created at the Abbey as well, is that, look, we will meet you where you're at. We will try to put you in the best possible position to succeed. And we hope that you can have some fun along the way too. It's kind of a requirement. Well, to put in that time and effort,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I hope that you're enjoying yourself and you're enjoying the people that you're spending the time with, or you know, what's the point?
And I think one of the things that comes across to me that I think is impressive is it's a highly competitive industry, but it's amazingly collaborative as well, right? Mm-hmm. And at this age, at least here in what we've been involved with, it's way more collaborative than competitive, mm-hmm. right? It's everybody's so supportive of each other. It's quite remarkable.
Oh, that's outstanding. Josh, at a time when, you know, schools nationally are forced to reduce opportunities in the arts, can you talk about the thriving commitment to the theater that Coffman has and all throughout Dublin City Schools? Yeah,
I think I think the support from the schools and the community have been tremendous. My daughter does a camp in the summer in upstate New York, and almost everybody at this camp goes to a performing arts school. And when we talked about, oh man, I just wish we had that. But then I talked about how many productions we have, both at the school and at the community theater. We put on more shows in our high school than some of the performing arts schools do.
Right.
So the commitment is real, right? Yeah. And then the connection and the partnership with the Abbey Theater and everything that Joe's brought to the table, and all of I know all of the directors, and it's not just the theater, although that's kind of where I spend my time. But the band programs here, all the arts, the choirs, all the people that get involved with it. Really, I mean, it's just been amazing. So yeah, I'm very happy to be part of a community that values that.
Yeah, and when Bruce was talking about the schools, and I'm thinking, well, we're kind of lucky in Dublin, luckier than some other schools, but it's really not luck. It's the dedication of people like you and the community, and it's really what makes Dublin special. So thank you for all that. Well, Joe, I want to circle back to these Broadway Columbus nominations.
Okay.
As I mentioned, 16 total nominations, ranging from Best Play, Best Supporting Actress, with Fun Home and Bobby and the Chimps leading the way, and another nomination for Best Local Theater. What does that kind of recognition mean for you, for the young actors, for the crew, and for the broader community?
Yeah, I have to say, the Broadway World Awards, they evolve. And so this year was the first time that our pre-professional productions could not be nominated. And so took a step back and I said, I'm like, well, and what can happen here? This is interesting. This is a almost, for lack of a better way of saying it, a pressure point, because so many in years past, it wasn't just our pre-professional programs, but a lot of the accolades that we received were in regards to our pre-professional program. And so it was, let's see what happens this year. Let's see where the dust settles. And it was really remarkable to see, because the nominations are not something that anybody can put forth a nomination. And so when we were looking at the revised rules, I said, I don't want us to nominate anything. I want to see what happens this year.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And so for us to come through and receive 23 nominations across 16 categories, and none of them being in regards to our pre-professional program, that warmed my heart.
Yeah.
It warmed my heart, because we do some tremendous work with our non-pre-professional programs. We're bringing in artists from, Bobby and the Chimps is from a playwright who lives across the pond, and the majority of his plays have been premiered on the West End. But he wrote something that was meant to happen in America, and I have a strong relationship with him. And he said, "Do you want to do this?" You guys heard me geek out
Absolutely.
about this. And so for that piece to be receiving all this acclaim, that really warms my heart. It also says to me, wow, the community at large does really appreciate everything we're doing. Not to say that you shouldn't appreciate our pre-professional programs. I'll stack them up with anybody's pre-professional programs. But so that meant a lot to me. Obviously, if we get named favorite local theater 4 years in a row, I mean, that's unheard of. That's never happened before in the history of this program.
Oh, right.
So it just says that we're heading in the right trajectory, and it keeps me motivated every day to go, what is next, and how can we best serve the community?
Amazing.
I mean, and awards are one thing, but I'm sure you heard me laughing in the back of Gutenberg the musical in the back row, my wife and I laughing hysterically. The place was packed.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday afternoon. Like awards, you hear about things getting awards that aren't necessarily fan favorites, but people are filling the theater for these shows.
Yes.
And to me, that's more of a testament to what you're doing at the theater.
Well, and it's a programming thing that we've learned over time. And so, as I said, I'm over the moon with how 2025 ended, not only from a critical standpoint, not only from a nomination standpoint, but specifically from a box office standpoint. Banner year. Like even before we hit Christmas Carol, we had already surpassed our ticketing revenue, the highest ticketing revenue that we'd ever seen. Nice. And we've had 5 straight years of that. And so I keep on going, how am I going to top this? But if you give the community what they want, which I think is a chance to sit and laugh and be entertained, as well as also challenged, and that's the secret sauce. It's just trying to figure out, when can we challenge audiences? When do they want to be entertained? When can we give them something that they're familiar with? I don't know, like the founding of our country. So, I mean, but it's really it's curating, for lack of a better way of saying it. Someone at a museum, they're not just going to smack, all these different artists from the same period up on the wall. Right. You want to give people a variety. And so the fact that we've been able to provide that, and the community wants to bear witness to it on top of the reviewers liking it and the nominations coming in, very grateful, incredibly grateful.
All right, so if I'm a young person, I want to get involved, what can I do, Joe?
Well, you can look up what we have to offer. 3 times a year, our brochure comes out for the DCRC, our healthy brochure. And in there, it tells you what you can audition for. It tells you what our registration-based programs are. Our Bound for Broadway program on Saturday mornings is registration-based. If you sign up, if you can get in, you're in. And then parents, you can disappear for 3 hours inside of this. So there's a lot of different entry points. So you can audition for something that's audition-based. You can register for something that's registration-based. But it all starts in the Healthy Brochure and or on the Abbey's pages on the City of Dublin website, which I believe is curated by a really amazing webmaster.
I've heard of him. And I have to tell, we've talked about these amazing theater kids. They're going to find these opportunities, Bruce.
Yeah,
like I said, and my niece is from New Albany. So you're drawing talent from all over Central Ohio with the productions and the reputation that you built. So
and
it's
that's
really
amazing.
exciting.
And again, but again, it speaks to the city's commitment, and it speaks to the team's commitment to providing something that is substantive and speaks for itself, and then people want to participate in it.
Right. Okay, Josh, you talked about this a little bit, but how can people support the Coffman boosters?
Well, the number one thing you can do is show up. Show up and see the shows, right? We have a huge theater at Coffman. It's really sad when you don't fill it. Yeah, it's which we don't typically have a problem with on the musicals, but yeah, show up to the shows. Bring your family, bring your kids, bring everybody around. That's the number one way. We've got Comedy of Errors, which will be at the Abbey Theater. We've got Mamma Mia coming up right after spring break, and then the Theater 3 classes are doing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I think that's in late April, May. Can't remember the exact dates, but around those time frames. So that's the number one way you can participate. We also have some feeder programs that we do with the middle schools and elementary schools where they get to participate with the high school kids. Sometimes they're in the production. Sometimes they're just doing things at the rehearsals. There's an improv camp that we run in January. There's lots of opportunities to get involved. We're trying to. The one thing I'll say, and Dublin City Schools is doing a much better job. They're actually starting an 8th grade program now. But all the other things, band starts in the 6th grade, and then you go up through. Sports starts whenever you start sports.
As soon as you're walking.
2 years old.
The soccer
Travel.
program.
Travel
10 bits.
T-ball.
But theater is a little different. Like, you got to want it. You got to look for it. And so we're trying to start more natural feeder programs into the programs and reach out to the kids. The Abbey's got a really great feeder program, but the high schools and the middle schools haven't historically. So, but next year there's an 8th grade program, right, at all the schools. So that's a pretty fantastic thing to come see. And then lastly, I'd say, look, if you've got a business out there and you're looking to give back to the community, we've got some sponsorship opportunities that we'd love to put your name up on our big screen and put you up on our PowerPoint presentation, build out slides for you, and let you get some access to the community. So those are the easiest ways to participate for us.
All right. And we know if you go to any of these shows, you're not going to be disappointed.
Right,
Bruce?
absolutely.
I mean, always such great talent. Okay, well, our listeners know this. Joe certainly knows this.
Oh, boy.
You don't have a link ahead episode without rapid fire questions at the
Boom.
end. So,
Hold on, nobody told me about
right.
this.
Well, we're telling you now, Josh.
We like to catch people off guard. That's
it.
the fun of
That
it.
is it.
So we're just going to roll right into it. These are for both of you. So we'll start with Joe, the pro. What is the most nerve-wracking part of watching your kids perform?
Oh, like my actual
Your
children?
actual kids. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I had the opportunity to do this recently. So my daughter was in Ballet Met's production of The Nutcracker.
Wow.
And so you, especially there, parents have to be hands off. So you're not quite sure what your child is doing until you actually get to see. Now, my child gives me a sneak preview. She's like, "Dad, do you want to see my number?"
Yes.
And I'm like, "I don't have a choice." But it's just so neat to watch your kid on stage. And both of my daughters, I have an older daughter who's 17, and you end up, even though you understand the industry, you understand how it works, your heart's in your throat. Your heart's in your throat out of pride. And then also just because you want them to do their best. But it is something that it's almost like at the top of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it feels like. And I enjoy that. But getting a chance to see my daughters find their power.
Yeah.
And luckily that's what their experience has been thus far. Whenever I'm watching them, they understand the assignment, they're prepared, and so much so that they actually get to enjoy the ride. But it's such a strong sense of pride and admiration for what they are accomplishing, and knowing that it transcends the stage.
Did you cry? You cried a little, didn't you?
Yes.
Has to. He has
Yes.
to. It is a
Yes.
written rule.
Yes.
All right, Josh, how about you?
I'm just kind of in awe over the whole process, right? It's been great, actually. And for this, whatever reason, it's easier. She was in gymnastics for a while, and that was you're gonna fall and hit your head. This is just like, you know? So this is easier, but just the awe of it, and then you get so invested. Like my kid, obviously, and I love her to the moon and back. She's amazing. And I think she's a great talent. But then you adopt all these other kids, and you adopt all these other families. And when we go see almost every high school, middle school, Abbey show that there is, because you get so locked into it, and it's just such a great experience. It's such a great community.
All right, rapid fire here. If you could only pick one, would you be a singer, a dancer, or director?
No, director.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a heartbeat. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But it's because it piggybacks on what Josh just said. You having a chance to watch someone evolve and, like I said, find their power, become comfortable and confident in their own skin. There's just something there that they might forget your name as the years go on, but when they walk into a room, they know how to carry themselves. They know how to speak their truth. And that is something that you cannot put a price on.
You already said dancer earlier, but go ahead.
Ballerina specifically.
Ballerina. Yeah, thank you.
I like to show myself through interpretive dance. I really thought that's what this whole program would be today. But yeah, I think, man, I wish I could sing. I loved singing when I was a kid, and I just don't know how to do it anymore. So that'd be my thing. I'd just go do that.
Get him on stage.
Get him up there. I can't believe I haven't got him up there yet.
There's still time.
I think this is his feeder program.
Yes.
Spark.
Okay, favorite live performance you've ever seen, and this could be theater, a concert, anything.
You first.
Oh, that's such a tough favorite.
Yeah.
All my daughter's shows. That's the right
Aw,
answer.
good answer. Good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? The first time I ever saw Les Mis, I think it's when I fell in love with the theater. I was 18 years old, from the middle of nowhere, hadn't seen anything, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." So probably that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And I will tell you that Les Mis is a part of the fabric of my life as well. But the first thing I ever saw that was the Broadway series was The Who's Tommy. And I think I've talked about that before. And that's still on the bucket list for here. But I was all the way in the very back of the balcony. But the energy in that room was so palpable, and I think that was the first time I ever felt like chills go down my spine because of a live entertainment moment. So yeah, it's probably that.
All right. One performance, past or present, you'd love to see on Broadway.
You want me to do this?
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
I've seen.
He probably has at least two.
Just go see whatever I want to see.
Well, something I want to see on Broadway. You know what I wish I could have seen? There was, I think I've talked about this before too on the podcast. There was a, what do they call that now? Gosh, my words are losing me. It's more like an interactive production where you're moving through all the different rooms, and they did a production of Macbeth with Kenneth Branagh leading that. And they just recently did this with Phantom of the Opera. They now call it Masquerade. So you move through all these rooms and experience the Phantom of the Opera in a more intimate setting, right? You're in this huge warehouse. So I'd love to experience that on a grander scale. I think that would be really neat to bear witness to.
Yeah, I want to see my daughter on Broadway.
I do too.
I'm just waiting.
I'll go. Okay, I changed my mind.
All right, there might be a theme here with your daughter, so I'm going to say, what's your favorite Abbey production from a past season?
Oh, wow. So many good ones. So first off, well, the musicals are tend to what I go towards. The Hadestown production this summer was
good.
Off the hook. So amazing. But I thought the year before, just because it's my generation of music, the American Idiot was so
It was
just the
phenomenal.
energy was so amazing.
You're talking Lindsay's language.
Absolutely.
It was just my people, that was my music. That's what I grew up on.
Man, Hadestown really stood. I mean, again, I would take the Pepsi challenge with almost everything we produced in 2025. It was by far, I think, our highest quality year, and that says something because I'm really proud of what we've been able to accomplish in the 6 years I've been here. Man, it's been a while. But it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it, which is, I think, again, a testament to how much I'm enjoying what we're doing, and really that because of how much the community is responding to it. But Hadestown was great. I had a blast in Gutenberg. It was so much fun. But
Gutenberg
you know,
was fun to watch.
I still don't know how you learned all of the lines. It's a 2-person show.
yes, sir. Yeah, but you know what made it easier? All the different voices that we were doing. So if you know you've got to throw your voice a certain way for a certain thing, it was easier to do than some of the other two-handers that I've had the pleasure of doing.
Little inside info, right?
Yeah. But you know, The Witch of November was something that I thought the community would respond to, and that was a piece about the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and we produced it the weeks surrounding the 50th anniversary of the sinking. And I thought, man, once we get this going, the word of mouth will take it home. Well, we were sold out for 5 of the 6 performances.
Awesome.
So word of mouth kicked in really early, but that was also a testament to the communications marketing department.
Nice
for
job,
helping
Lindsay.
that.
Good
So
job.
thank you guys for that.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself on that one. I'm not used to them selling out that
That
fast.
quick. It was super quick.
Bring it
Yeah.
back. Encore.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well,
Okay. After a performance at the Abbey, where do you like to go in Dublin to toast those great performers?
oh, wow.
It might be different based on the ages, but
Yeah. I'll tell you that majority of our youth performances go and toast at the Graders.
oh, that's not a bad option.
Yeah, that's
That's where they go.
Yeah.
They can finally have dairy, you know,
Yeah.
you have that when you're performing.
Our adult performers have been known to frequent the Dub Pub.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Good to know.
You know, the parents like, well, if it's a beer night, we're at the DVT,
Okay.
or Napa if it's a wine night.
Oh, okay.
So
Very nice.
We almost had an episode without the Dublin Village Tavern
Yeah.
reference.
There you
Is
go.
that the most
That's
referenced?
right.
Is that the
Yes.
most referenced locale?
Other than you.
Right. Okay, last question. Now, you said you're not much of a singer, but let's just say that you are, and you're going to have a sing-off with Joe here. What, and it can be a lip sync battle. Let's go with that, you know? What song do you pick?
Oh, what song do I pick? Oh, I don't even like. This is one I really need to be prepped for. I don't know how to answer this
Yeah?
question.
What's your go-to when you sing in the car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonus points for singing it now.
That's what we were teeing them up
There'll be
for.
no bonus points today. You know what? Something grungy.
Right. I like
All
it.
right,
You could do some Green Day,
Yeah.
maybe.
Lindsay's language.
Pearl
Yes.
Jam is my favorite band, but I'm finding as I get older, I like Alice in Chains a little better.
Oh,
wow.
Man in a Box would be.
Yeah.
Give us a few bars.
That's a good
Although
song.
I could see you doing Even Flow.
Yeah,
Just,
even
right,
flow,
okay.
so good. But see now.
All right, you two can leave now. We're
Yeah.
just
But now
Second
I
half
have
of the
all
episode.
my daughter's music in my head too, so like something from Chapel Roan probably.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
just
Pink Pony
blaring.
Club.
Yeah.
So
There's not-
that was going to be
Oh,
your
my-
answer.
So close to my answer. So close to my. Not at all. No, I didn't know that you liked Pearl Jam. I love Pearl
I
Jam.
love Pearl Jam.
I love Pearl Jam. My favorite performing artist, he died too soon. His name is Jeff Buckley. And so they recently just came out with a documentary about his life. But my favorite song that he ever recorded was he did a cover of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Heard that.
And it just gets me every single time. But that's not what I would sing. I'd probably sing something like by Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Oh, I could see
And
that.
what would
for
that sound like, Joe?
Oh my gosh.
Give us.
You're just too good to be true.
Oh.
Can't take my eyes off of you. No more.
Oh, come on. I was like, sing us out. All right. Well, Joe and Josh, thank you so much for being here. What a way to kick off the 2026 season. We're so happy to have you, and we can't wait to see you at the Abbey this year.
Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks, Bruce. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be a part of this today. It was great.
Absolutely. And you're invited back anytime, and we know we will see you in a year.
If you get in the way of me getting my robe,
Oh, wow. And to our listeners, thank you for taking the time to connect with your city. Tune in next time as we continue to explore the many personalities and experiences that make Dublin a thriving place to live, work, and grow.